Hi everyone, I'm Kate Knowles, your lovely host of ScriptlyAdapted, and this is...
I'm Keone Howard. I'm also your host of ScriptlyAdapted Presents. How are you guys doing?
Welcome to our new show. We are reviewing The Great Gatsby, directed by Baz Lurhmann, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Carey Mulligan, and a great ensemble cast.
Great cast.
We wanted to bring the show to you because...
and Tobey Maguire.
Oh yes, and Tobey Maguire, yeah. We wanted to bring this show to you because it was a great movie, and we have a couple different aspects that we'll be delving into, so I'm going to pass it on to Keone to talk about the visual.
The movie was great. Had some great parts, had some great scenes, and the thing that helped keep my attention for the film was the visual.
Mm-hmm.
Baz Luhrmann is known for this, director of Romeo and Juliet, Moulin Rouge. He is just known for his, his daring, really out there style.
Yeah.
Bright colors, really interesting landscapes as far as the world he creates around the story. Really, really entertaining stuff.
Right.
And for The Great Gatsby, you would have thought that his style would have failed for this. But for me, it helped. It helped tell the story.
Yeah.
The visual helped keep my attention. It helped for me to know about certain parts that I was not sure of as far as the story is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
There was still a little bit of cracks in the story, and we'll get to that later. Well, when Kate explains that, but to me there was still little cracks. But it did help the movement of the story for me.
Right.
He used bright colors. He used
that was great.
very beautiful landscapes as far as the world is concerned of what he created. And I really, it helped for me. A lot of people I read wasn't too crazy about it. They thought the visual took over, and then we knew nothing about the story. There was nothing. The story just had no depth. But for me, it was the opposite. I felt the visual helped tell the story. I thought absolutely. It was if you're a director nowadays, it enhanced it. If you're a director nowadays, you want to be creative. You want to have that freedom to let go and just explore options as far as what you're going to show on screen. And I feel like that's what he did.
Yeah.
Yet, even though the story doesn't really call for that, it definitely helped, give another
take. The visual was astounding. And like I said in our previous show, I'm not a huge Baz Luhrmann fan. He is extremely talented, and he knows how to use his surroundings and use editing. And that's one other thing that we were saying. The editing project in this movie had to have been completely like a whole nother project of its own. The visual was astounding, and I think I would definitely use that adjective. It was warm. There were a lot of warm, bright colors.
Yeah.
It really helped with the party scenes, I feel like.
Yes.
It was almost kind of reminded me of a rainbow. That's what it looked like.
Mm-hmm.
But
like you said, that's very
interesting
what you said about warm.
Yeah.
Because what I've noticed with the visual was that it portrayed the emotion of that character in that scene.
Absolutely.
So there were warm colors with the soft parts, and then there were bright, loud colors for the party scenes,
and then when you saw Leonardo DiCaprio in his mansion alone, it was kind of darker and just like a little bright lights here and there, kind of resembling his hope. I mean, I might be thinking way too much into it, but I feel like that's what
no, that's a great way to look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the colors in the visual were definitely one of the key elements to the movie.
Yes.
Without that, it would have just been a mundane love story.
Right, and like I said before, guys, it just for me it helped. I mean, everyone's going to be different.
Right.
I'm a huge visual learner. I'm a huge visual person as far as movies are concerned. I needed something to pop out to me for me to really care about what's going on in the film. And for this, Baz does that. It's Baz's style written all over it. You have quick close-ups. You have bright fluorescent colors
and like fantasy scenes too, like dream sequences.
Yeah, very dreamy.
Yeah.
There's a scene in the beginning where Tobey Maguire's character walks into a room and he opens it up and it's just white, and the curtains of the windows are all open and they're flowing, and it's just real.
It's aesthetically pleasing.
It's aesthetically pleasing, and it's just a real dream-like sequence that really just captures. It just sets the tone for what's going to happen throughout the entire film. One of the
aspects that I really appreciated was the acting. I mean, you have a great cast. Tobey Maguire, who's been in most of the Spider-Man movies.
Right.
Leonardo DiCaprio, who is just bar none, one of the best
One of the
actors of
best.
our
One of
time.
the
And I
best
don't
out
care
there.
what the Academy thinks, keeps snubbing him for a non-Oscar, but he is one of the best actors, I think, of our time.
Absolutely.
And Carey Mulligan, who's coming up in her own right, got an Oscar nomination for An Education, and, you know, she's great. She's a really great actress, and the chemistry that these actors had together on screen. Now, you said something about Tobey Maguire and Leonardo DiCaprio being actually very good friends in real life.
Which helps.
Yeah,
and
definitely
if you're an
helps.
actor, it helps
Definitely
to know that
helps.
person even personally.
Yep.
Because they are really good friends
Right.
in real life. They grew up in Hollywood together. You know, the whole scene. You know, Leo was on, was it Growing Pains?
Yeah, Growing Pains.
He was on Growing Pains for a little while, and Toby was just coming up as a child star actor in his own right, and they just met, big time friends in Hollywood, and it helps.
Yeah.
Obviously, because you definitely get a great friendly connection
during
their film through their character.
Right. And, you know, I think also Tobey Maguire is a great actor, but I think Leonardo DiCaprio is maybe one step above, not in how good he is, but in terms of how much more he's done.
Right.
And I think he has that kind of fatherly son approach to him in real life, as he does in the movie, with him being Gatsby and Tobey Maguire being this guy that he kind of takes under his wing a little bit.
Right.
Carey Mulligan, the chemistry, one of the scenes in the movie where Leonardo DiCaprio wants to meet Carey Mulligan again. He wants to see her again, and he knows that Tobey Maguire is his contact because Tobey Maguire's character and Carey Mulligan's character are cousins.
Right.
So he coordinates this tea, and the scene is just, I mean, it brought tears to my eyes because of the emotion in the actors' faces. I mean, it was almost like you were watching two people in real life who who love each other passionately but haven't seen each other in years, and it was just like all this angst and worry and almost like this overwhelming sense of love.
And I got a real sense of innocence from Leo's character, Jay Gatsby.
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
He's this party, big personality type of. You would think he's a playboy, but really, he's just a guy who just wanted to be in love again, and just wanted the girl.
It wasn't just about, finding the girl. It was also about him, as they explain in one scene, he's explaining this to Tobey Maguire's character, Nick Carraway. He's explaining that it's about him rising to the top. And I think during his childhood, he was so used to not having anything, so that he needed to prove to himself that he could have anything he wanted, and I think it was the thrill of the chase.
Right.
Not saying that he didn't love her, but I think it was more than that for him. So the acting was phenomenal.
Yes.
I mean, from
great performances.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. It was
I
great.
love Carey Mulligan. I'm liking her even more.
Yeah, she's so talented. She's so talented.
There's a pureness to her personality that just comes through with the character she plays.
And that's very interesting you say that, because you see that in one of the first scenes that she's introduced with, when you talked about the dream sequence, when Nick Carraway walks in and is introduced, not introduced, but he comes for tea or lunch or whatever, and she's sitting there on the couch, and it's just the way Baz captures her face and her laying on the couch playing like she doesn't have a care in the world, because really she doesn't. And it's that definitely is apparent. Another aspect for me would definitely be the music. And I'll let you delve into that a little bit.
The music was, excuse me, the music was pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought it mixed. It was a lot of contemporary hip hop.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot of Jay-Z, also an executive producer on the film. And, he had to place his stamp in there, put his music in there. And it worked.
Yeah, it did.
It fit in for what's supposed to be I guess a timepiece with its being set in, the 20s. The type of music that you heard was contemporary hip-hop, but it worked for this film in a great way. And also, what I've noticed, Kate, with the music, and with Jay-Z being involved, and the story, is that Jay-Z now, now that he's come into his own as a rapper, and he's just bigger than the music now. Jay-Z talks about coming up.
Yeah.
Making it.
Right.
Starting from the bottom.
Right.
Coming, making it to the top.
Right.
And that is what this entire film was about.
Yeah.
Is with Jay Gatsby's character wanting to be more. Leaving what he had back at home, which was nothing.
Right.
And just making his way to the top.
Yeah.
And being successful. And what was missing was that girl, of course, which was Carey Mulligan's character.
Right.
But Jay was all about becoming more than what he was. And that... that correlation with Jay-Z's music and the Jay Gatsby character just fit, and it hit me when I was watching the movie.
Yeah, and I think also too, I think when Baz, that has a lot to do with the director, because he has a certain way he wants his film to look and come across, and so Baz Luhrmann obviously had a lot to do with that, because I don't know if that even occurred to him, but if it did, it came across to us that way.
Right.
That's an interesting twist that didn't even occur to me.
Yeah, it hit me. Yeah.
So thank you for shedding light on that, and I think there's been a lot of controversy with the soundtrack. I've seen on Facebook with a couple of my friends post, saying the music is just not, it ruins the movie and blah, blah, blah. But, people will be the first people to say, I want a different change.
Right.
It's too lovey-dovey. It's too fantastical. It's too 1920s. So here you have someone trying a different angle, which is incorporating contemporary music with a timepiece. And I think it worked. I really do. I think it made us, really be able to relate.
Yeah. I think it because especially for it being a timepiece and it being the Great Gatsby. It's not a story everyone wants to really read.
Right.
It's a great story, but it's not something that will grab today's teens or young people.
Right.
And to have that music, to have the visual the way it is, those really bright colors and great landscapes, and this really electronic hip hop bass sounding music in your ear, it kind of just helps bring a different variety of audience.
It kind of closes the chasm of generations. Yeah. That was our review for The Great Gatsby. We hope you liked it, guys, and stay tuned for another show.
Yes, guys.
Take care, guys.
Later.
Bye.